and welcome to Kallerhult Creations. I'm Lovisa Kallerhult, an artist and illustrator who lives in Sweden. I primarily make pet portraits and logotypes, but I'm trying to broaden my horizon and challenge myself to step outside of my comfort zone and explore and learn new things. A few months back I contacted Steph over at The Average Artist and asked if she would be interested in making a collab with me, and she came up with the awesome idea to do a 100th page illustration challenge where you pick a book, read the 100th page, and make an interpretation in form of an illustration. She suggested that we'd pick Harry Potter, and since I'm a massive Harry Potter nerd, of course I was totally on board. The collab was supposed to have happened earlier this year, but my life has been a long run of illness and sick kids, and yeah, that's also why I have been absent from my YouTube channel for over a month, in case you are a subscriber here. Anyway, Steph will be working from the first Harry Potter book, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, or the Sorcerer's Stone if you're American, and I will be working from Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. So let's get to it! On the 100th page of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows you can read about when Scrimgeour is passing down the items that the Golden Trio has inherited from Dumbledore. Ron gets a Deluminator and Hermione is given Dumbledore's copy of The Tales of Beedle the Bard, and this is the part I chose to interpret in my illustration. I went through a number of ideas before I finally settled on what my illustration would look like. Should Scrimgeour be in it, all three main characters perhaps? Or maybe an image of the book changing hands from Scrimgeour to Hermione. I want the piece to be strong on its own, that it didn't have to be an exactly depiction of the text, but a bit broader. So I decided to have Hermione sitting with the book in her hand, and to make the front cover visible I decided that the book should be open. I added Crookshanks, her cat, to the picture, both to emphasize that it is Hermione, but also because I think he would come to comfort her when she was sad. After I finished my thumbnailing, that's a verb, right? I made a mock-up in Photoshop. Unfortunately, the program I used for screen capture was absolutely garbage, so I can't show you any of that process. If you have suggestions for free software for a PC, please leave them in a comment down below. Early on, I decided that I would use this challenge as a starting point, a ground zero if you will. I absolutely stink when it comes to drawing from my imagination, and I hate not being good at whatever I decide to do, so I haven't really been practicing as much as I should. Therefore, I went pretty much all in with this one. I made a scene with easy perspectives, but still perspectives. I have drawn one interior scene before in my adult life. I have never attempted to make up and draw a human all the way to a final piece, and I don't have an illustration style, and I lack the knowledge of human anatomy and proportions. That's a great start, right? Also, I decided to make this using watercolors, a medium I'm not completely comfortable in using. I still think it's important to show the struggles and growth of artists. I've spent hours upon hours practicing drawing photorealistic portraits, and I barely even tried to draw from my mind since I was a kid, so you can't improve if you don't practice. A bit more about Steph. I found her back in October, I think, maybe November, and I immediately subscribed to her channel. It contains pretty much all the things I like to watch on YouTube. Vlogs, humor, art videos, and some animals. She has very cute cats. I love to see how she tries new things, executes ideas, and yeah, she's also written a book which is available on Amazon. I leave a link in the description for you guys to check it out. I've read about a third of it so far and I really like it. So back to my illustration. I want to use a muted color scheme using primarily warm tones. So far so good. Now I'm gonna bash my piece a bit. Her head and hair. I don't know what's going on there. It's way off. Also, the book is way too big. It literally says that the book is small in the text, and the text which I add later on onto the book was written in runes, but yeah. One thing I kept thinking when I was making this piece was that it was gonna make an excellent draw this again video when my skill levels has increased. But for this piece, my motto is better done than perfect, meaning that if I had continued to work on it and redrawn it, as I really did want to do, I would probably not have finished the product, and I really wouldn't have been any wiser. I love how my mind has expanded the definition of success from being the satisfaction with the end result to include the satisfaction with the process. I loved working on this even if I saw all of the flaws. I was all giddy thinking that I actually stopped procrastinating, stopped obsessing over my lack of skills, and just did it. Now I have done my first proper illustration and can only get better from here on out. After I added some layers of watercolor, I went in with color pencil to add even more details. The light might be a bit up and down during this video. I have new lights and my fiance has connected my light bulbs to an app which lets me control the brightness and color temperature, but it seems as though some levels make the camera pick up on some kind of flicker. Anyway, I drew in a background with a few details to avoid stealing focus from Hermione Crookshanks and the book. Later I added a bit of blue to balance the picture more since the right hand corner looked a bit empty. Here you can see my epic fail of using a dirty blender and thereby adding some green tint to her blushing cheeks. I decided to try to salvage the piece and correct my mistake by adding some marker to her face. First I dabbed a bit of color here and there, and then I went all over her skin. I went over the piece with markers to get additional depth, and I do like Hermione's face better now than before. The color, that is, not the structure. The groundwork is still lacking. You can't polish a third. I added some contrast to her hair and to Crookshank's fur, and also later I added some structure to her cardigan. I really hope that you like this video, even if the final piece isn't really something to write home about. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and hop on over to Steph's channel, The Average Artist, and check out how she has interpreted the 100th page of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day. Hej då!